Hello my friends, welcome to today's video. I'm Jeanette with Vivo Vintage Designs. In today's video I am going to show you how you can create a faux wood grain on photo paper using alcohol ink and a stencil. So stick around. Hello my friends and welcome to today's video. I'm Jeanette with Vivo Vintage Designs. In today's video I wanted to give something a try that I used to do back when I used to refinish furniture. I used to create wood grains on furniture and use stencils to make it look as though it were inlaid wood. So I was looking back at some of my old videos, and if you go on my Facebook page, Vivo Vintage Designs, and you go way back, you'll find some of the videos of when I was working on furniture. But in any case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to create a wood grain with alcohol, and then I'm going to use a stencil with a different shade of browns, and well, you'll see. Stick around and you'll see. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I have a full sheet of KRYLON photo paper, which is difficult to find these days, I've been told, but I happen to have a stash and I'm using this. But if you don't have the KRYLON photo paper, I will link in the description box the basic Amazon Basics photo paper that also works really well. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a lighter background, and I have a couple of different shades here. I have latte, teakwood, espresso, and pebble. And I have a little plastic palette here, and I'm going to put some of these colors into the palette. All right, I was able to squeeze some out of the latte. The bottle is clogged. So what I have here are these stencil brushes, and these are inexpensive brushes, but they give you, because the bristles are so hard, they give you a nice texture. So I'm not going to do the entire sheet, and this is the stencil that I'll be using. So I'm just going to do the center of the paper. I'm going to start by picking up some color, and I'm just going to drag it like this on the paper, and I'm going to go in and out of the different shades. And I'm going to continue going through it, as you see me doing here, until it's completely dry. So I get those lines in it. Let's get a little teakwood in here. So you can see by alternating your colors, you get a really nice look. And keep going through it like this as it's drying, because that's what's going to give you those lines. And I'm just making sure that I cover enough area. And try and go straight up and down. Try not to curve. If you have a Cricut machine, this would work really well, because you can just cut out your pattern and then lay it on top, and then just do this whole technique over it, and then you can peel it off, and that would look really nice. But I don't have one, so I am using a stencil. Now I'm pretty satisfied with the way this looks. I'm going to take it outside, and I'm going to spray it with a light coat of the KAMAR varnish first, not the UV protection, because that will only activate the ink. So I'm going to do a light coat of the KAMAR varnish, and I'll be back in a moment. Now, I don't recommend that you spray the KAMAR varnish in your house. It has a really strong smell to it, so I like to take mine outside and do it. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I have sprayed my paper with the KAMAR varnish and I have allowed it to dry. I actually used my blow dryer to dry it. And now I'm going to take my stencil and I'm going to find the area that I like best in this little painting here. I think I like that. And I'm going to use some blue tape to hold it down so it doesn't move. And I've added a little sepia to my palette here. And I'm actually going to go cover the entire area because I'm afraid that I'm going to go over the stencil. So better safe than sorry. And I'm not pressing this too hard onto the paper. It should peel off nicely, we'll see. All right, so now I'm going to switch to a smaller stencil brush because these areas are small. And I do recommend that you be careful. I'm not even sure how this is going to turn out because it's a stencil. And well, let's give it a go and see what happens. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of the sepia and I'm going to just start running it down the paper like this over the stencil. I'm not sure how much of this I will use, meaning once I frame it. But be careful when you pick up your alcohol ink that you don't have too much on your brush because you don't want it to bleed underneath the stencil. Again, this is one of those times where I wish I had one of those Cricut machines. So I'm just going to cover enough of the area so that if I choose to frame this, I have enough area covered. Okay, and I'm dabbing off the excess onto my paper towel so that I don't have too much on the brush. So I'm just going to go back and forth until I'm satisfied with the way it looks. And I think maybe a little espresso. Let's try that. I haven't tried that color yet. I just brought out all the browns I had. Dab it off. I hope this turns out as well as I've seen it in my mind. You just want to make sure that the coat that you're adding looks a little bit darker than the coat underneath. And because I sealed the coat underneath, it means that this coat won't activate the ink from the prior coat. And you want to keep running it through to make sure that the ink dries with these lines in it, because that's what's going to give you that wood texture. Okay, I think that's enough. I'm going to take my dryer, put it on the low setting. I think that's dry. Here comes the moment of truth. Keep your fingers crossed. Because if this worked, I think it's going to be really pretty. And you can see I'm not having any problems peeling off the blue tape. This is painter's tape. And here we go. Oh wow, that turned out fantastic. I'm really happy with that. Well, I hope you enjoyed this and that you give it a try. I think this would look really pretty in just a frame. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out the description box for links to the products used, with the exception of the inks. And consider joining my Facebook group, Vivo Vintage Design Tutorials, where you can post your version of the techniques and tutorials learned on this channel. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.